It was November of 2021. I was about 1.5 months away from leaving Hong Kong to study in Los Angeles, completely starting a new chapter in life. After an underwhelming secondary school life, which happened between 2014 and 2020, everything ended abruptly because of the pandemic. The years 2020 and 2021 have become what is known as the void years because it felt like a void. Little to nothing happened. I stayed at home a lot, and whatever redemption I imagined myself having is put to a halt. Everything was slow, quiet, and kinda depressing. It's like nothing interesting about life is interesting anymore. Like, I know that at this point in life, given that for over 500 days I have pretty much lost contact with most of the people I used to know, like, my life also feels completely meaningless and pointless. Not because I hate myself or anything, but it really is pointless, given how people come and go, born and die. I've said that many times already, but I refuse to go there, and I try my best to have a more positive mindset. Albeit a false hope, I still try my best. And then the anxiety about going to college in America slowly crept up. It was a slow realization, but not a jarring one, since I had all the time in the world to process that feeling. But even so, to abandon all the people and places I love and live in a different country is a huge deal. And there's a feeling of uneasiness and unknown, maybe a bit of anxiety, but also a kind of serenity and peace. I just knew I had to do this. This is when I stumbled into a film called Yi Yi, a 3-hour-long Taiwanese family drama written and directed by Edward Yang. A film released in the year 2000 at the turn of the second millennium and the final film of the great auteur Edward Yang. When you look at the reviews and essays of the film, you'd see people describe this film as mundane, slice of life, and plain, much like a reflection of real life.
Sir, what if a writer is attempting to create a story where nothing much happens, where people don't change, they don't have any epiphanies, they struggle and are frustrated and nothing is resolved? More a reflection of the real world.
The real world?
Yes, sir.
I was originally going to write this video essay based on the idea of the mundane and everyday life, but then I realized that that's not true. Yi Yi isn't even that. There's a wedding fight, a suicide attempt, maybe even a murder. But it's funny that people who watch Yi Yi seldom remember these moments. All we remember are the quiet moments. NJ squatting by the sea, Ota playing with birds, Yang Yang taking a bath, Ting Ting standing in the rain. How is that possible? The bigger question is, how are we only remembering these seemingly irrelevant events? To break it down, Yi has 4 or actually 5 characters that it constantly follows. Yang Yang, the younger brother of the family, Ting Ting, the elder sister, Min Min, the mother, and NJ, the father, as well as Adi, the uncle who just got married. They all come together in the beginning for a wedding and then reunite at the end, but they all go through their own story arc in the middle. And in every story arc, everyone goes through something. Yang Yang discovers attraction for the first time and deals with a strict teacher and bullies while being at a primary school. Attraction is a recurring theme throughout the film as romance changes and develops over age, and a brilliant cut from Yang Yang to Ting Ting moves attraction to a more personal level. This is Ting Ting waiting in the rain. The turning point of the film takes place when the grandmother of the family falls into a coma, and by staying on a bed at home, the family members take turns talking to her without knowing whether she hears them or not. This way, the grandmother becomes an outlet, a place where family members go to speak the truth, where they normally don't in front of other people.
说今天开始，我们每一个人每一天呢都要轮流找一点时间来跟婆婆讲讲话，这样子她才可以早点醒过来啊。
我最近很有钱，常常有人跑来找我借钱啊。我已经不是像你那种以前天天担心我到处去跟别人借钱那个样子了。
有时候就连每天早上醒来的时候，就一点把握也没有，都会觉得说，哇，好不容易睡着了，干嘛又把我弄醒了呢？然后再去面对那些烦恼，一次又一次。
And through these talks, Edward Yang sets up the predicaments that all these characters are encountering, and it helps that all these storylines are equally as interesting and compelling. It helps that the film alternates between funny and sad. It also helps that every single shot is so beautifully composed. It also helps that he is an expert in human behavior, catching small details of what a person's actions may be, like laying on a bed and listening to what's happening outside instead of falling asleep, or hiding behind a wall to avoid running into somebody he knows. Edward Yang utilizes editing not only to keep the film visually interesting, but also to subtly tell us, hey, we're all the same. Whether it is Ting Ting questioning her feelings while being with her first love, or it is NJ confronting his feelings while reuniting with his first love, we're all not so different from each other and we don't realize it. We are sometimes so unself-aware of the world around us, it's almost comical.
Well, young people always find their own way. That's the best way.
我觉得已经把前些个这个6本可能换那些个。
Edward Yang also uses editing to give the film a sense of humor. It's not inherently laughing at these characters, but to comically point out that we, the viewers, are not so different than these characters, fumbling around our own lives and moving around the city. In fact, the real central character of the film is really the city of Taipei. With so many buildings and roads and people, we can't help but feel a looming sense of harmony, but also loneliness. Edward Yang scatters these amazing reflection shots all over the film where characters are superimposed against buildings, streets, and within them dozens if not hundreds of people, each with their own lives. Even an arguing couple isn't exempt from being framed as insignificant, even if whatever they're saying is important or life-changing. The only character who seems to really catch on their insignificance is Min Min.
我觉得我好像白活了，你知道吗？我每天像个傻子一样，我每天在干什么？
Who decides to follow a Buddhist monk and hermit herself in a Buddhist monastery for a month in the hopes to find the meaning of life and the meaning of everything. She comes back a month later just to realize that there is no meaning, and that's okay.
身上呢，有什么不一样呢？
还好。 是的，其实真的是没有什么不一样。
Another character that seems to be aware of it but is too young to grasp is Yang Yang, who learns to take photos of the back of people's heads because people are never able to see what is the back of their heads. Yang Yang may not realize this, but he just dropped the thesis statement of the film. Us people are only limited to what's in front of our eyes, and we don't know what's outside of what we see. So by placing so many characters into one film, Edward Yang creates a window for us to see what's outside, a world full of people with their own stories, their own inciting incidents, their own climaxes and resolution. Everyone's living in a movie of sorts. But the character that's most aware of this is Ota, who is the true enlightened one because he understands the insignificance of himself in the world, but chooses to rejoice in it and savor every moment. life is nothing but a random collection of events. Instead of trying to shape it and control it, to be realistic is to simply go along with it.
Why are we afraid of the first time? Every day in life is a first time. Every morning is new. We never live the same day twice.
This leads to the title of the film Yi Yi, which literally means 1-1. Despite having so many characters and so many scenes in this film, it's apparent that everyone is one, united under the same city in the same society. We all have our love issues, work problems, family matters, and insane moments that feel like they're from a movie. But the reason why we remember the mundane moments of Yi Yi is because we relate to them the most. After all, mundanity is also an essential part of our lives, and every dramatic event that comes along with it is only dramatic because that's what we see in front of our own eyes. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. In a world so chaotic and full of random events, sometimes we can only find peace in what we don't see.
我现在闭上眼睛，看到世界，好美哦。
Yi Yi isn't important because it tells me it's okay to leave my home country and study abroad in the US. Yi Yi is important because it tells me it's not even going to matter as much as I think it is now, or then when I was a clueless 19-year-old. Yi Yi tells me that more life-changing events will come in my life, and equally life-changing events will happen to so many other people in this world. The drama of my life is only a small part of something greater, so every time I film a video ranting about my lack of social life, or maybe laugh at a meme on Instagram for minutes, or lay on my bed yearning to rid myself of loneliness, or cry while watching a movie on my laptop, it's simply a part of life, and that's all there is. Thank you for watching.